Welcome. Domain Dave again from cheapwinefinder.com. Hope you all had yourselves a merry little Christmas, and we're heading towards New Year's, and we're doing New Year's wines. And we're not, sort of cheap, not terribly cheap, but it's a $13.99 Lustre American sparkling wine from Aldi. But it's not just from Aldi. I went on the Tobacco and Alcohol Bureau page, it's the California Wine Cola, and they do the labeling for California wines, and I put in the name, and it turns out this wine is made by Precept and Gruet. Gruet's a sparkling wine company out of New Mexico, originally started in the 50s in Champagne by Gilbert Gruet, Gruet. I mean, I'm not sure which one it is. I think Gruet is French spelling, but they ain't in France no more. And since then, they've gotten so popular since they moved to Mexico. Well, they still have a house, a champagne house in Champagne, France, but their champagne the champagne style wines from New Mexico are so popular that they had to open their sourcing up, and I think that's when they I think they partnered. I'm not sure what the relationship is with Precept Wines. Precept bills themselves as the largest privately owned wine company in the Northwest, meaning if you skip California, because there's bigger ones in California, but they're big. They have a lot of labels. They make good wines, and they make wines for both Trader Joe's and for Aldi. And Gruet is the name listed on there, which is a good thing. The only odd thing about it is Gruet's Brut wine. They have Blanc de Blanc and Blanc Noir and Rosé and all that kind of stuff. They do the whole selection of champagne style wines, but their Brut is, with Gruet's label on it, it's $15. This is $13.99, which isn't exactly a Aldi style bargain. I'm gonna take a sip of this one so we can talk some more. So is this just simply a relabeled Gruet wine, or do they make it for Aldi? And I'm leaning towards they made it for Aldi, because why not? Aldi's got a huge selling radius. They got stores all over the place. Nationwide stores. If you can get into Aldi, that's a great place. And they can make a wine for them too. It's very doable, and they know how to make good wine. The Gruet Brut has gotten 90 points. I mean, it's a non-vintage, so it should be the same every year, but the magazines have gotten 90 points. It's made the top 100 value price wines of the year. It's a solid wine. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and this is like, even if it's more or less the same as the Gruet Brut, it's $1 cheaper, and I do think it might be a separate bottling, not anything all that great, but maybe the grape blend in it. When it's just Brut, when it's Blanc de Blanc, it's white grapes, and Blanc de Noir, it's red grapes, and Brut is usually a blend of the two, and this could be a different blending. It could be normally with champagne styles, it's Chardonnay, it's Pinot Meunier, and Pinot Noir. There's a couple other grapes you can use in there, but those are the three main grapes, and this could be a different blend of the grapes. And so there you go, and it's made by someone who knows how to make sparkling wine affordable and delicious. And I'm gonna take another sip because it's sparkling wine that's affordable and delicious. Well, I took more of a gulp than a sip. It's tasty. It's easy to like. It's easy to understand. It's kind of a rounded fruit to it. Sometimes champagne can be kind of brittle. No, this is round and smooth. Sometimes I think they use their triage. Their second fermentation is like 20 months for Gruet. And that usually makes the wine a little creamier. Like the really expensive ones where they're in the bottle for 7 years, they get really creamy. But there's like a smoother, the acidity is kind of smoothed off, and that's kind of nice, especially for a $13.99 store brand Bubbly. And it tastes great. It's got very easy to identify flavors, citrus, apples and lemons and peaches and pears, oh my. And then it's got a little bit of a yeasty thing going on, not too much bakery bread, but a little in there. Maybe touch of vanilla, maybe not. I mean, it's just as smooth. It's kind of creamy. Sometimes creamy and vanilla seem like the same thing. And yeah, it's a little nutty, maybe dried pineapple. It's got a lot of good flavors in it. Bubbles are nice. It's kind of gold with silver highlights, which is kind of what you want in your champagne because it looks classy. I said champagne, and I should know champagne's only from Champagne. It's sparkling wine, but it's made in the same style of champagne. And so there you go. This is a $13.99 Aldi sparkling wine made from grapes from New Mexico, California, and Washington. And it is a tasty wine. I cannot find anything wrong with it. I like it a lot. It would be a hit at parties. Is it good enough for New Year's Eve toast? Yes, it is. Is it good enough for weddings and anniversaries and all that type of stuff? Yeah, it's great. So there it is for me. Another sparkling wine hit. Lustre American Sparkling Wine, Aldi. And it is $13.99. So that's it for me, Domain Dave from CheapWineFighter.com. I have to say this every time. Like us or you like your podcast. Push a button. Buttons without pushing are nothing at all. So that's it for me. Stay safe and warm. I think in Chicago we're going to get 50s by New Year's. So that sounds good to me. So keep it cheap, stay safe, and I will talk to everybody in a couple days. Adios. Bye-bye.